Nobody I worked with was buying rental property when I started buying property. I had to go find people like me today to talk to look up to ask questions to interact with. They didn't have fucking books. The guy who taught me real estate, I wish he had a book. He didn't have a book. He went to lunch with me and wrote it on a 355 card and handed it to me. He then... Welcome back to the channel. So the last couple weeks, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, I've been kind of bringing everyone's attention to this book called The Master Key. And I was saying, don't read the whole damn book. I mean, you could. It's a hard book to read the whole thing, man. It's something you maybe just buy and have around, and when you feel like fertilizing your mind a little bit, you know, and that's how I would approach self-help. You don't want to turn it into a cult. You don't want to necessarily, I mean, there's worse religions to be in. I had a guy tell me, well, I don't like that stuff because it reminds me of like a religion. I'm like, well, there's a lot worse religions to be in than motivation or fucking, like, it could be worse. So whatever amount you need, man. But I do believe that all of us we need something, man. That's what we get out of movies, right? We watch a badass movie like 300 or Gladiator. And you're like, man, I could do that. Like you can live vicariously. And the reason you can do that is you ever do that, man? I watch a movie, I get so damn pumped up sometimes that I'm like, especially when I was younger, more so. I guess as you get old, that some of that gets worked out of you. But you watch a movie and you're like, fuck, I knew I should have been a samurai. You know, I mean, maybe I'm the only one that does that, man. And I'm watching some race car thing and I'm like, fuck, I should have been a race car driver. That looks awesome. And I've been watching this show, Rookie, on Hulu, and it's cops in LA. And I'm like, man, that shit looks fun. Like every day they're like in gunfights and saving people. And obviously it's a TV show, but if you think about this, it's your mind. Like a football game. You ever be so into a damn football game? Like you are so excited for this game. And maybe sports isn't your thing. I don't know if you've ever done this for a concert. Like I'm really into music, and my secret fantasy was to have been a musician. I'll give you my real secret fantasy. I'm sure you have these. Is to be a rapper. Like I would give anything to be able to rap. And even though I love, heavy metal music, I love that kind of stuff. I love rap music, and I always think like, two things, if I could be in the world and like 100% success, never fail, do great, would be being a rapper or being a stand-up comedian. I mean, how awesome is being a stand-up? You just make people laugh for a living. Like that is amazing. But we get something out of watching him, right? Like, because the stories are just true enough, and then they add a little pun, they add a little sarcasm, they add a little whatever sting to it, right? Makes us laugh. And we can go into a state of unhappiness to happiness just watching Richard Pryor. Man, I used to love that dude. Or Denzel Washington in a fucking gangster movie, right? What is that? That's your brain, man. That's how easily we can manipulate ourselves to the positive. Like, that's what the secret to the book Think and Grow Rich is like you can trick yourself. You can literally brainwash yourself. That's really the secret of that book. They say, what's the secret? It's that me, we can train ourselves, we can trick ourselves, but we can do it good and bad. And some people can do this easily. Like they have actual thoughts of grandeur or delusion. Like they have such self-confidence that it's overbearing. And then other people have it the exact opposite, where it's hard for them to get out of bed, man. And I'm not talking about people with clinical depression or something. I mean, they're just, Eeyore, man. It always happens to me. Like you've been around that, right? So we can have it on the extreme, and somehow we want to kind of find ourselves somewhere in the middle. And have you ever caught yourself doing this? And I'm a teacher of think big, think outside the box, 10x. Like I love all that. And I remember I had a kid talking, and I don't even remember the circumstances. And I literally caught myself talking this kid down. Like I caught myself going, well, before you do that, bro, You might, like I was almost giving him have the plan B advice. And I caught myself and I was like, what am I doing? And it was totally out of just like societal programming. Here's a kid, big ass dream. He's 17. So there's things he doesn't know he's going to need to do. And my mind immediately went to the logistics of those things and immediately realized he didn't have the skill set to do those things. So I caught myself putting down his dream almost. And I'm like, holy shit. Like I caught myself. I try to watch myself. And sometimes I don't know if you do this where like I'll be at a bar. I drink a lot. Am I an alcoholic? I don't think so. I think if I am, I'm functional because I stop for days on end at a time. I don't drink myself drunk. It doesn't cause me, Jordan Peterson's definition of an alcoholic is it causing you problems in your life? No. Never. Like, I mean, I can't think of a time since I was, in my 20s and just being off doing something stupid where due to alcohol, I missed a sale. I missed the opening of the market. I fucked up on a rental property. Now, have I ever maybe drank too many and went live? Yeah, I've done that. And maybe that, that's not good, right? That's not good. And then say some shit. You're like, what did I say? Like, that's obviously not good, right? But I try to observe myself from outside looking in, like me looking at me, and I don't know. I enjoy it. I'm not harming myself, so I don't feel like it's something that's at the top of my list right now. But maybe that changes, and we have to be able to control ourselves and say, okay, is this behavior being destructive? Am I thinking? Is my negative thinking literally being destructive? Am I speaking about, like I hear a lot of recession talk right now. Everybody's freaked out about a recession. Yeah, I'm not participating in your recession. People are like, what do you mean? Meaning I'm not talking about a recession. Fuck, I'm an optimist, man. A recession means opportunity. So you might get me to say the word recession, but it's never going to be like, oh shit, we're going into recession. You will never hear me teach that, say that, or that shit come out of my mouth. Now, other people do. I get it. I'm not mad at them. I'm not saying they have less belief. I'm not judging their mindset. I'm just trying to tell you how I get through the day. And for some people to get through the day, it's a relationship with a particular God, or it's they got to do yoga in the morning. Like something is getting you through the day, and you got to ask yourself, is the shit that gets me through the day, i.e. drinking, is it assisting me? Is it entertaining me? Is it making me feel good? What is this doing to me? What is this doing to me? What is the stock market doing to me? Am I a sad person because the stock market exists? Because the stock market exists, does the price of the day-to-day stock market affect my mood with my wife? What about with your girlfriend? Do you mean if the market's up big, do you find yourself more frisky? You're fun to be around. If the stock market's down big, nobody wants to be around you. That seems like a control issue, right? And so we have to be able to see ourselves. We look at ourselves as a project. You're the CEO of you. Your decisions day to day, are these good for us or bad for us? And sometimes when you identify them as bad for you, the answer isn't, oh, I'm just going to stop, because maybe you can't stop. Maybe you got to analyze it for a minute. Maybe you got to go one layer deeper. Like, why do I do this? Why am I thinking this? Because just trying to stop may not be the answer. You may need to get to the root cause. Well, fuck, my mom constantly was telling me, we're broke. There's not enough. Turn the lights off. Shut that door. You think money grows on trees? Like they were just constantly pounding into you scarcity. We do not have enough. There is not enough. The president's going to do this. Now that they're in charge, those people do this. We can't do that. We live here. We don't get to do that. And it's just been reinforced over and over and over in your brain. Man, a lot of us probably suffer from that, man. Man, oh man, oh man. A lot of us suffer from that. And that programming, and that's why the secret of the book, Think and Grow Rich, is that you can program you. I can program me. So I can set things in motion. Now here's the kicker. A lot of shit happens in the middle that we ain't got no control over. Like you're trying to be positive and now your kid gets sick. It's real hard to be grateful when your child is sick. And I mean not a cold, like sick. It's hard to be grateful. And so a lot of the things we as teachers teach sometimes aren't necessarily going to apply. And this is something that I've been struggling with for a while. And I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean just tossing it around in my brain. I don't have a lot of people to bounce ideas off of or to, there's not. This is why I've tried to befriend a lot of people like myself. I got this friend named Welby, and this guy Mark, and this guy Dan, and we all have similar problems. Like, not a lot of people own 70 units. And so who do I talk to? I can't just call Grant Cardone, right? I mean, you could one time, maybe you buy a course, but I don't need a course. I need a fucking human interaction. I need a person that I can trust who's been through this before, that I could call up and say, hey man, here's what I'm dealing with. And they listen to me. They don't immediately tell me their problem. They go, whoa, yeah, fuck man. If that was me, I would do this. And I go, hey man, I appreciate that. And then I call my buddy Mark and say, Mark, listen. And I run 3 by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys, man. Guys that are out there doing what I do. They invest in the stock market, not half-ass, like legit money, right? They're having a $100,000 down day when everybody else is down 800 and crying. You know, they're having a $200,000 down for the month. These guys have millions of dollars. So when I want to talk conviction, I'm not calling the guy with 10 grand in the market, just got started. I want a guy that's been doing this shit 15, 16, 17 years to look at me and give me an honest opinion, man. What do I do here? What do you think about this? And then when they tell me, most of the time they tell me what I already know. Like, there's no real secret knowledge in the universe. We all know we should be positive, but sometimes I need to hear that from another voice to remind myself of what I already know. Most of the time I already know what to do. And you say, what do you mean? Meaning God, whatever you want to call it, the universe has equipped you. You have everything you need to succeed. You know the right answer. It's just sometimes we don't hear it. And that's what interaction with other people does. That's why people do YouTube and Instagram, and because everything we need is in other people. All of the money that you will ever make came from another person. That means all the money that you want for you and your family and for your dreams is in the pockets, purses, wallets, checkbooks, credit cards of other people. Other people have your money, no matter what it is you do for a living. Someone's paying the bill. And that person is the person you need. So what does that tell us? At our core, as human beings living today, a couple things we have to have to make anything work. Ourself, meaning consciousness of ourself, the ability to look at yourself as a third person, right? Not as a victim, not as not entitled, but just raw you. This is me. This is what I know how to do. You know, I can do this. I can do that. I've done this. I'm capable of this. You know you. I don't know you. You know your discipline. I don't know you. Right? At its core. So we have to know ourselves. And you've heard that from that stuff typically comes from people like Buddha and spiritualism, but it's like, know yourself. And if you ever listen to like Jordan Peterson talk, same thing. All the self-help, all the stock education, all how to buy real estate, none of that'll work if you have weak fucking character. If you have no discipline, and I don't know the reason, it could be because your mom shit on you for 22 years. And so for 22 years, you've heard, you have no discipline, this kid never tries, you're always just trying to get a C, you're just trying to get ahead, like you're always scheming, I heard this my whole life, you're always scheming and scamming. My mom would say, Gerald, you're always scheming and scamming. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, everything we do, you're scheming and scamming. How to do it faster, how to get more, how to win. Is there a way to beat the game where, I don't want 10 tokens. Could I win 30? How do I get a return? My mom used to get mad at me because I put my friends to work. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean? You got 3 kids out shoveling driveways. Yeah, Mom, we're trying to get paid. So my mom was accustomed to, and this is not against my mom, I'm just telling you, my mom grew up poor. Her mother went to school to 3rd grade, lived barefooted on a fucking sugarcane farm in Louisiana. That's my connection to Louisiana. My family comes from there. I didn't grow up there, but that's where my family comes from. My grandmother cut sugarcane on a farm, barefooted, spoke French and Creole. That's what she did. She didn't go to school past third grade. Rolled her own cigarettes, man, non-filtered. Fucking drink whiskey. That was like, hard-working woman. But there's no concept of prosperity. There's no concept of getting rich. There's no concept of being an owner of assets. There's no concept of starting a business. There's no concept of that, of being able to earn outside of the box. She's not thinking that, man. So then she raises my mom. Maybe she gets a little bit more because she's heard a little bit more, but she's not thinking it. So I'm a product of that, man. And so in a trailer park, single mom, what do you think we're hearing? Oh, you can be anything you want to be. Not really. Most of your uncles are in jail. So don't do that. That's what I heard. Don't do this. Don't do that because you'll go to jail. Oh, look, your Uncle Tommy's back in jail. Don't do that. Okay. And then it's like, well, look, go be a school teacher. Go get this, go work for the city. These are our family plans. Which is fine. But then I got to this, because I had that. I went to the Army, right? And then I'm working at the prison. And I'm around a lot of people. And guess what they're not talking about? They don't want to get rich. Nobody's talking about getting rich. That is not the conversation. Nobody at the prison owns stocks. Very few. More inmates own stocks than the correction guards. Nobody I worked with was buying rental property when I started buying property. I had to go find people like me today to talk to look up to ask questions to interact with. They didn't have fucking books. The guy who taught me real estate, I wish he had a book. He didn't have a book. He went to lunch with me and wrote it on a 355 card and handed it to me. He then gave me a book of a guy way less the guy wrote the book. I don't know that guy, but I know this guy. This guy's sitting right in front of me, man. That's why I do these events where I invite, I do this thing and people come to my house and I have to limit them. And when I first did this, kind of freaked my wife out. She's like, these are complete strangers. Yeah, I know. But why would you do that? I'm like, I'm a teacher. There's no better way to teach than to meet the person you're listening. And here's the thing. It's not that some magic at the event's going to happen. It's not that you sitting in my living room with me, I'm going to say, maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe you'll say something to me and I'll say something back to you and that's all you needed to hear and you go on and make $3 million. That trip is just nothing. You've moved on, right? But what if it was the other guy that's there? What if it's because you're in a room with 12 people all trying to be more, do more, and have more? You're just around like-minded people who are at, hey, maybe I could be more. Maybe through investing, I could acquire more. Maybe I could get this financial freedom thing. Maybe I could do that. And you're around 12 other people thinking the same fucking thought. Guess what happens? Empowerment, man. It erases 10 years of people saying, hey, turn the lights off. We don't have enough. Recession is coming. You need to be scared. No. That's not what we're talking about. I'm sitting in my second home in probably one of the top 20 most expensive cities in America. And I was a prison guard. None of my prison guard friends have a second home in the French Quarter of New Orleans. No one I fucking know does. Nobody that grew up with me, nobody in my family. And guess why? Because none of them think like me. None of them wanted that. None of them woke up yesterday with the idea of acquiring more so that I could do that. No, they went and got city fucking jobs. And then they lived based on their income. Never saving for that to try to buy more, to push more, to do more, to get more. They're not doing that. They're living average, mundane fucking lives. Day after fucking day. And if you do that week after week and month after month and year after fucking year, that's what you get. And it's a choice. I didn't get lucky. I got up. I didn't get lucky. I read Think and Grow Rich and tried to do that shit. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad and left the house and tried to do the shit he talked about in the book. I was like, well, I want to be an entrepreneur. Well, that means I got to start a business. Good. You know how many businesses I've had fail? At least 6. I don't even talk about it. I've had full-blown businesses that I start, we lose $60,000 and we're out of business. Now what? You got to get up tomorrow and do it again. All right, man. Thanks for making it through today's class. That was a talk. I give these talks on Twitter Spaces. I try to record some of them for video here on YouTube. I appreciate you watching. I hope it helps you. If anything, gives you a different insight. Today's message, though, was super important because I was talking about, is failure your greatest teacher? A lot of us get caught up in trying not to fail. Like, we want to do our best. We want the best ROI, the best use of our money. And because we seek that, maybe we miss out on the greatest lessons, and we miss spending time with our greatest teacher, and that's our own failure. Don't let fear of failure immobilize you, okay? Sometimes just taking action and being in it is going to be, listen, God has given you everything you need inside of you to accomplish everything you're trying to accomplish. It's not going to be found in a book or a course. But with that said, speaking on books, man, if you don't have a copy of my free ebook, you don't have to die broke. It's free as an ebook. I'd love to send you a signed copy if you'd like to help me out. And always, the Underground Cult Classic, the Money Flow Trading System. This is exactly the strategy I've used to get right at about $1 million in the stock market, using that strategy right there. And time and understanding the 4 stages of price movement. I'd love to send you both of these. I'm running a special on both those books for $87. I'd be happy to sign them, ship them out from my house to yours.